Carrington 2.0. Are we ready? What if the next global disaster doesn't come from Earth? In 1859, skies over the Earth ignited in eerie shades of red and green. Auroras danced over the tropics, telegraph lines sparked without warning, and entire systems collapsed. Before modern technology even existed. It wasn't a war. It wasn't a virus. It came from the sun. They called it the Carrington Event, the strongest solar storm in recorded history. And now, scientists believe we're dangerously close to another one. But what if it's already too late? It began on September 1st, 1859. British astronomer Richard Carrington observed a sudden, blinding flash on the surface of the sun, a white light solar flare. Hours later, a massive coronal mass ejection, CME, slammed into Earth's magnetic field. No one was prepared. The skies lit up across the globe. People in Boston and Havana thought the end times had come. Some miners in Colorado believed it was already morning. It was midnight. Telegraph operators were thrown to the ground. Machines burst into flames. Messages were transmitted, even when unplugged. It was as if the Earth had been briefly plugged into a cosmic power socket and fried. Now imagine the same event in our digital world. The sun isn't quiet. It pulses in 11-year cycles, known as solar maxima and minima. And during peaks, violent solar flares in CMEs become more frequent and intense. According to NASA, the next solar maximum is expected between 2025 and 2026. And signs suggest it could be unusually active. Increased sunspots, spikes in solar X-rays, satellite anomalies, radio blackouts in aviation systems. The alarm bells are ringing, but the world isn't listening. What would a modern Carrington event look like? Our world today is radically more vulnerable than in 1859. The global power grid is a delicate web. Transformers, substations, cables stretched across continents. A massive CME would induce electric currents across Earth's surface, overloading transformers and melting them from the inside. Experts say a single solar storm could knock out power to over 40 million people for months. And it doesn't end there. Satellites would be blinded by radiation, GPS systems would fail, commercial planes could be grounded or rerouted, financial markets would freeze, even undersea internet cables, thought to be invulnerable, could be affected by their repeaters. No power, no internet, no coordination. Civilization would be forced to restart. Sound far-fetched? It almost happened. On July 23, 2012, a massive CME erupted from the sun with the force of the 1859 storm. NASA's Stereo A spacecraft captured the event in chilling detail. If it had occurred just 1 week earlier, Earth would have been in its path. Even more recently, in May 2024, a G5 class solar storm struck Earth. While not catastrophic, it disrupted radio communications, GPS accuracy, and even forced airlines to change flight routes. These weren't random incidents. They were warnings. The scientific community isn't panicking yet, but they are deeply concerned. You can prepare for earthquakes. You can contain viruses, but you can't stop the sun. There's no defense mechanism, no shield, only early detection and response. At best, satellites can give us 12 to 24 hours of warning. But what if we're asleep? What if our monitoring systems fail? What if, in a world constantly distracted, we miss the moment the sun fires? Worse, what if it sends more than one? Some researchers fear a solar killshot scenario, where multiple CMEs bombard Earth in rapid succession. The first weakens our magnetic shield. The second finishes the job. Governments know the risk. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security and NOAA have contingency plans. The Parker Solar Probe and SOHO satellites monitor solar activity daily. But these are monitoring systems, not solutions. Few nations have hardened their transformers or shielded their power grids. Fewer still have backup satellite systems in deep orbit. Billions of people are unaware of the threat. The media rarely covers it. and our leaders remain focused on crises, far easier to understand than invisible radiation from a star 93 million miles away. But nature doesn't wait for us to understand it. In 1859, the Carrington Event shocked the world, but humanity recovered. Today, the consequences would be unthinkable, and the sun, patient and ancient, continues its cycle, silent until it's not. So when the next flash comes, will we be watching, or will we just go dark? What do you think? Are we prepared, or just lucky? Share your theories in the comments. Subscribe to @Dark Reality Vault for more investigations into science, prophecy, and the strange threats hiding in plain sight. And remember, some disasters don't strike with thunder, but with silence.